The police say there have been multiple deaths from the earthquake that struck Christchurch just before 1 o'clock this afternoon. Damage in the city and surrounding areas is extensive. Roads, buildings, homes and major infrastructure have all been affected.
Music's changed heaps in Christchurch, I think, since the earthquake. Basically because venues are all munted, so people just look for alternatives.
So I think before the earthquake there was a lot of systems set up, so obviously Ducks Deluxe, lots of bands played there, and I guess there was a city.
Before the quake, Christchurch was about as vibrant and healthy as it had ever been. I guess we travel a lot, we get to go around the country, go different places, so we kind of knew how good it was here. It was wonderful, lots of places to play, lots of bands. Yeah, it was really positive. And suddenly the earthquake came and took away a lot of the places to play. People moved away. You know, it just sort of sucked the wind out of everything.
I think a lot of people to start thinking outside the box, and it forced a lot of people to go touring and play in new places that they might not have thought of playing before, and I think it's shaken something up.
But if you're somewhere out there, say the signal will make it clear.
A lot of obvious ways in how it's different now than before the earthquakes. I mean, obviously we can't get to a lot of places we used to go, and I have been to some gigs in some interesting places that just wouldn't have happened before the earthquakes, because we're so restricted now in the places we can go to or the places we can use to have live music gigs.
But keys don't unlock everything, and all that I can do is sing a melody that's always out of tune. In the black of the night, by the light of the stars.
Not only have I lost the bar and things have changed heaps, the changes that mostly occurred are obviously we don't have so many places that were purpose-built to play. So now we've had to improvise in the places we played and put music on.
Tigers and dragons fight. I don't fear them anymore. Apples and oranges, I can't taste them like before.
So I guess there's been a lot of negatives and positives come out of the earthquakes for musicians.
I know what I'm dying to do, but you'll never ask and I'll never offer. So here we are, stuck standing 2 inches away from anything. A highlight from the change for me is the people that I've started working with through Fledge. We're a collective of musicians, and you can find us all at fledge.co.nz, and that's something that was happening pre-quake, but afterwards we toured together. We're working on a whole lot of projects with a whole lot of exciting up and coming artists. So for me the exciting thing is still yet to come.
There's been a shared trauma that everyone's experienced, and that gives creative types a lot to write about. So the content that's been written and coming out is generally quite heartfelt.
Put yourself back together with hope and wide. Put yourself back together with hope and wide.
It's like lots of these little groups of people that have done really cool things. So there's these Fledge crew, and then there's a lot of the guys with Adam and the Eastern and people like that. I think they just went hard and played in people's backyards for a while. So there's a real different sort of way of doing music, I think, and which is really healthy, I think.
I think it made people just try stuff, you know, and people who hadn't necessarily done much things before just suddenly wanted to help and put things in place and were motivated to do interesting things, you know. And how something like that, at least for us, at least, informed the work we did afterwards, our album that we did after the quake, you know. How can it not, you know? If our job is to sing songs about our place and where we live and our experiences and the stories of people around us.
As people going through and suffering the effects of disaster and demolition and restricted access, I think it's really important that we have these spaces and places that we can go out and socialise and have fun and do something just a bit normal.
And some real positives come out of that in the sense that I think the musical community has grown a lot closer because they've had to work together with each other a lot more. It's not to say it wasn't close before, but like say if you took the Littleton music scene, because we've only had, we were focusing initially on just one place to play, everyone's getting together and playing with each other. There's been situations where I think people have collaborated a lot more, so that there's been a lot more writing together, other people doing each other's songs. The Harbour Union album, which came out pretty straight after the earthquake and had all the Littleton-based musicians contributing an album that had an overall cohesiveness.
Well, I live in Christchurch and I love it, so my band House of Mountain will probably continue to play here, and we try not to play too much around town because I guess we are quite a small city, and if you're playing all the time then people know you're playing, so they're less likely to come. But I think for as long as we can, Christchurch will stay home.
I'm excited about where the opportunities are for Christchurch as a creative city over the next few years, so that everyone can see that, you know, just how strong and how talented our scene is down here.
The future holds a whole lot of exciting projects. We have just come to the end of the Art Vet program, which has been an amazing project. We've had music on the stage every Friday, Saturday, Sunday for 4 months since November. But it's also just the beginning of something else, you know. Hopefully we can continue to have music happening all throughout the city and have music and arts be integrated in the rebuild and be something that is a part of the new city from the ground up. You check out House of Mountain, Happiness Stand, Jen Turner and Natalie Slade. Me and Jed are about to release our first single as a duo called Issues.
And so as a music venue owner, I would have liked to have thought that Els could have gone on to realise the dream that I had for it. So that didn't happen, and for me, I've been doing some negotiating with Castles, the brewery in Woolston, where they're going to open a purpose-built venue, and I will only have to book it rather than run the whole thing, which is a real positive for me. But as a venue owner, I'm finding that there a lot of opportunities, and the experience that I had sort of doing a venue has meant that I could carry that over and use other venues and help other people do stuff. So I think in the end Christchurch is going to end up with some really, really good venues, because this time round we can sort of much design our venues to suit musicians rather than before, where people were plonking things into buildings that didn't suit as much. So there's some really, really good future outlook, I'd say, for both musicians and for the people promoting music.
So some positive things have come out of this crazy thing.
It shakes, it shivers and breaks, and the walls that we build up fall down and take. It's the walls that we build up, fall down and take from us. Oh, the earth breaks, it quivers and quakes, and the borders we build up divide and they break. And the more that we put up, the more that we take from us. But who am I to question when she does?